Okay, I'm not sure. I want to stand or sit down, but it's okay. Okay, so to all the participants in the WebEx sessions and also face-to-face in this interactive lab, okay, welcome to this EduTech PG Bootcamp. All right, sorry. I need to share first. All right. Okay, so this is, I think, the second topics. Okay, and then this is from educational technology panel. Okay, I'm sure that maybe some of you is from other faculty or other program, but it is actually open to all of the students. Okay, you can learn from the any topic that you want to join. Okay, we actually have several interesting topic. Okay, it will conducted in the schedule, right? You can refer later on to the announcement made by the PIC. Okay, so I just want to make a disclaimer, okay, before we go further for this session. First of all, of course, my example for this topic, okay, maybe or all is related to educational technology field because I am the educational technology lecturer. So all the examples, okay, later on in my slide is actually from EduTech student, right? And then my topic for today is actually procedure to validate an instrument. Okay, so it is under the pilot study topic. Okay, but in pilot study, okay, you know you need to conduct the validation and also you need to find out the alpha value, right? The reliability value. So, but in this topic for today's session, I will only explain and share to you the procedure to validate an instrument because I found out that majority of the student, okay, did not know what is actually the procedure, okay, to give the instrument to the expert to validate. All right, so I will focus on that. I'm not focusing on the reliability. I'm also not focusing on the type of validation, the item validation, construct validation, and so on. So this is actually special for procedure to validate an instrument. I'm not saying that this is the best practice. This is not. This is not um, the best, the appropriate way or the compulsory way that you need to follow. Okay, but this is maybe the best practice way to make sure that the validator understand what kind of instrument that you develop and what kind of construct that you want the validator or the expert to be validate, right? So I'm sharing this one. So I made the disclaimer earlier, okay, before you are asking why I'm not touching on this and this, right? So I'm Dayana from School of Education, and my field is actually under panel of education technology, okay? So I'm sure here many students here is actually from the education technology, right? But I'm also sure that some of you maybe come from different faculty or different programs, so it's okay. We are open this session to all of the students, okay? So for the first start, okay, let's we brainstorm. Okay, I want to know about you also. So in which semester are you? Can you answer me in the chat session or also here? You are in what semester? Third semester. Okay. First semester. Okay. So I'm also see here in the chat session you are the third. Okay, you are the first session, second, and so on. So maybe okay. I'm sure or I hope that nobody is actually from the sixth and above semester, okay? Because I'm sure that the students who are come to this session is actually from the student who did not collect the data yet, Okay, because you need an instrument, right, to collect the data. So this process for the validation is actually being conducted, okay, before you conduct the data collection to the real target user. So this is the purpose of the validation process. Okay. Okay, so I think none of you is from the 6th semester and above, or I don't know, maybe you are in that semester but you did not answer my question. Okay, for those who are actually just coming in, all right, I will share the attendance, okay, at the end of my session, right? Okay, the next question, okay, what is a pilot study? Can some of you just give me an idea what is actually the pilot study?
The process of testing the instrument in a small scale to put it in the large.
Oh, all right. Okay, actually, one of the students here answered that the pilot study is actually the process of testing the instrument in a small scale. Okay, so correct. Okay, I will say correct. Okay, but I want to have another answer, maybe from the WebEx session. Do you have WebEx participant? Do you have an answer for that? What is actually the pilot study? Okay, I think maybe some of you Google and then paste the answer in the WebEx session, in the WebEx chat. Okay, anyone want to answer my questions? No? Validate the instrument. Is it suitable or not? Okay, all right. Yes. Yes, you want to ask question? Hmm? You want to ask question? No. No. Can I continue? All right. So I can see the answer. Basic small studies which have a larger impact. Okay. This one I can see here. Preliminary study. Okay. Validate. Aimi Ahmad saying that the validate the instrument it is suitable or not. To test the reliability of the instrument, the validity and the reliability. Okay. All right. Okay. So we go to the next question. What is a preliminary study? Okay, because Hasliza Hashim saying that pilot study is actually a preliminary study. So is it same? Do you have any idea what is actually the preliminary study? Okay, here, you know what is preliminary study? Okay. It is any differences? Or you are actually about what you want to confirm?
To confirm the reliability of that instrument that you want to upload in the large scale.
The preliminary study. Okay.
It's a preamble. It's a preamble. It's now
Prior work. Okay. Okay, have a seat. Okay. In this interactive lab, saying that the preliminary study is actually the prior work. Okay, before conducting the validity. All right. So actually, the in my sorry, I will silent first my handphone. Sorry. Okay, in my okay, preliminary study is actually the earlier study, okay, to confirm something. Okay, in my point of view, okay, what is actually practiced in EduTech field is actually the preliminary study is actually not a compulsory, okay, but it is actually good if you can done the primary study, okay, the preliminary study. Okay, the preliminary study usually used to confirm something. Okay, maybe there is lack of literature review about something topic. Okay, so you can conduct that. you can conduct the preliminary study. Maybe the preliminary study, it is actually suitable to answer something, the second question. For example, you want to develop the mobile application, or you want to develop the module, for example. So you want to have the criteria, what is actually the preferences, okay, of the target users. Yeah, their preferences, color, font, or something like that. The construct to be inserted in the module. So you conduct the preliminary study. Okay, so it is different between the pilot study. So here I'm show you the definition of pilot study. Okay, so pilot study is actually the mini version of a full-scale study. So your answer is correct. Okay, also called feasibility studies, as well as the specific pre-testing of a particular research instrument. Okay, I'm repeat for those who actually just entered this session. Okay, I will focus only about the validity. Okay, I have this red circle in there, right? I will focus on the validity and how to conduct the validity of the instrument. Okay, what is the process to conduct the validity, to get the validation from the expert? Okay, I'm not explain to you the type of validity, what is the relevity. Okay, that is not in my session. I'm sure that is will cover later on by other lecturer. Okay, so in addition, okay, as well as the specific pre-testing of particular research instrument, and also fulfill a range of important functions and can provide valuable insight, right? Because when we conduct the validation, when we conduct the pilot study, we can know what is the lacking, which one item we can delete, right? Is this item is suitable? Is this item is actually really measure the construct that we want to measure, or really can achieve the objective that we want, right? So I'm sure that you have the certain objective, right? So each of the objective have also the instrument. Okay, what kind of instrument that you use to achieve the research question, to answer the research question, to achieve the objective. So of course, when you conduct this pilot study, you can have the valuable insights. So you can get comments from the experts and so on, right? So it involves validity and reliability, as the picture or figure shown in my slide. So I'm saying that I will focus on this validity section, right? Okay, we go next. Okay, just brief introduction about the validity and the reliability, and both about how well a method measures something. Okay, first about the validity, because I will explain to you about this validity process. So validity is actually refers to the accuracy of a measure, whether the result really do represent what they are supposed to measure. Okay, supposed to measure. I repeat, supposed to measure means that if you are measuring creativity, so your instrument need to measure the creativity. All right. So if your questionnaire is actually to measure the motivation, so make sure it's measure the motivation. Okay, it's not measure the self-esteem, not measure the engagement. Okay, so it reflects to what they are supposed to measure. Okay, so this is the important, I think, important things you need to remember, right? So the reliability refers to the consistency of a measure, means that whether the result can be reproduced under the same condition. All right, so means that when you repeat and repeat again, answer the instrument. For example, the students answer the instrument, okay, repeatedly, okay, the result is same. Okay, that is what we call reliability. That's why when your alpha cronch batch value is high, means that the reliability of the instrument high. Okay, if the student is actually answer this questionnaire, for example, the motivation questionnaire in this year, perhaps after 2 years, the result will be the same, right? That is what is relevancy means. Okay. So we go to the procedure. Okay, this is what I want to share with you today. Right? This I said it again. This is not the compulsory step. Okay, this is not actually I didn't claim it as the best way to conduct the validation. Okay, but I think this is the most appropriate way. Right? First, of course, you develop the instruments, right? And then the second one is fine. I will explain to you all these 7 points, okay? The second one is find the suitable experts according to the construct. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, I will explain to you later on. And then third is seeking permission, okay, from the expert. Please, seeking permission. You just not some of the student maybe just put the instrument under the door of the lecturer office or expert office, and then you text him. Okay, so that is not the proper way. Okay, next is prepare the documents. Okay, when the expert or validator agree to validate your instrument, then you need to prepare several documents. I will show you after this. All right, prepare several documents for the expert. First is actually the appointment letter to the expert. All right, what kind of construct you want the validator to validate? Okay, to answer what objective? What is the source? Okay, for the instrument, you adapt from where? Okay, all of this you need to state it in your research instrument. I will share you later on. All right. And then next is give the documents. Okay, all the documents to the expert and give them enough time to validate. Okay, this is important. Okay, don't push. Okay, ask the validator to validate now and then you want it tomorrow. So it is not a proper way. Okay, please. Right? Next is collect the feedback from the experts and discuss with your supervisor. Okay, maybe the validator will give comment. Okay, so you meet your supervisor and do the correction later on. Okay, and then of course this one is report the comments from the examiner in the thesis. Okay, usually in chapter 3 you have the subtopic pilot study in chapter 3. Okay, it is actually for the validity and reliability. I'm sure that you know. Okay, so the report will be actually written in chapter 3. Okay, you need to write the report. What is actually the validator comment and so on. And then also you need to report the correction made, right, before and after. Okay, maybe the item to measure the motivation at first is actually 20 item, and then after validation process you have only 18. I don't know, so it reflects back to your comments from the validator. Okay, so I go one by one. Okay, first is develop the instrument. Okay, you need to develop the instrument. I'm sure that you know what is actually the instrument. So you have your research objective and also your research question. Okay, so the instruments are developed based on your RO and RQ. RO is research objective and research question, of course. Okay, so that is the thing. Develop first the instrument. Okay, then number 2 is find the suitable experts according to the construct. Okay, this is important. Okay, you need to discuss to your supervisor. Okay, who actually the expert, okay, the suitable expert to validate your instrument. Okay, for example, you are measuring critical thinking, for example. So you need to find some experts that related to this kind of field. Okay, the expert in critical thinking. Okay, or in motivation or something in psychology. I don't know, you are from different faculty or school. Okay, so it reflects to your construct of the instrument. So take a look what kind of construct in your instrument. So what is the you want to measure, what is actually you want to measure, okay, and then find the suitable one, okay, because some of the students maybe they are actually developing the mobile application, for example, okay, maybe from the psychology department you are developing psychology mobile application, for example, and then you are asking me, okay, to validate. Okay, actually, I don't know what kind of things I want to validate. Is it you are asking me to validate the design of the mobile application, or you want me to validate the content of the mobile application? So I will ask the student, I am not the expert to validate the content of the mobile application. But if you asking me to validate the design of the mobile application, right, how it works and so on, so maybe it is reflect to my field, my education technology field. So that is what I mean. Some students actually did not clear about that, okay, because she or he developed the mobile application, so I am the lecturer in education technology field, so he or she asked me to validate the mobile apps. Okay, and then of course when she or he meet me, they will not prepare the document, so I'm quite blur what kind of things, or what do you want me to construct, what you want me to validate. Okay, what is actually the purpose of this validation, I don't know. So you need to make it clear to the expert, right? Okay, so that's point number 2. Number 3, seeking permission from the expert. Okay, this is what I mean before, right? I mentioned you before. Please email or message the expert first. Okay, asking he or she or the expert is they have the time to validate your question, your questionnaire, your instrument. Right? So asking permission, you can text or message, right? And make sure you introduce your name, your program, and also your purpose. Okay, salam, Dr. Dayana. I'm from educational psychology department. I'm actually developed mobile application for early childhood, right? So I want you to what? Okay, you mentioned that. So I know your purpose. So I know that you are from this, you are student from this faculty, and what is actually your purpose of text me, right? Don't just text and then saying that you want me to be a validator. Okay, so please don't do that. Okay, and then maybe the expert will respond to you. Okay, some of the expert may be quite busy, so she or he may reply to you that okay, but I have so many theses to read. Can you wait 3 weeks from now, or do you is it okay for you if I'm actually validate after 1st of February? So you make a deal with the expert, right? You can find another expert when the expert saying that she or he is not available. So that is the purpose of message or email him or she, the expert, right? So this is important as well. Okay, so this is the important part in my sharing. Okay, as I mentioned to you, okay, this is not the compulsory procedure or steps to be taken by you. But I'm sharing the best way, right, to make sure that the validator is actually understand. Okay, understand what is actually she or he want to validate. First, okay, you need to prepare the appointment letter. I will show you the example. Second, okay, this one you can contact the academic officer. I will show you after this. Okay, next is verification of student status letter. Okay, this one I will show you how to get it from the system. because some of the students may be asking the expert from industry or outside UTM or outside he or her territory, right? Okay, maybe not a teacher from a school, okay? So some of the third party or the expert will ask the student status letter. Okay, are you a student? Are you really a student from UTM? So she or he, the expert, some of the expert will need this one. Okay. Next is the validation form. Okay. The form need to be signed and stamped by the validator. I will show you after this, and also the instrument. Okay. You need to provide the brief description about the things that needed to be validated. Okay. I will show you the example. Okay. So this is the example. Okay, the example of the appointment letter. Okay, in appointment letter, okay, this is prepared by the academic office. You can ask Puan Rohaya, I think, in the office to prepare this. But make sure you prepare also the content, the draft content of your letter. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is in Malay version. I can't find in English. Okay, but I think you can understand this orange color. Okay, first of all, the name of the validator. All right. Okay, who is actually the name of the validator? Maybe the teacher from outside, the principal or so on. Okay, so here is the name of the student. Please provide to the academic office your name and also your metric number, the program, and then your scope of study. Okay. Okay. The next paragraph, okay, is actually the objective of the research. Okay. So I'm sure that the instrument is actually or maybe different from each other. So for the objective and research question 1, this is the instrument. For the RO and RQ2, this is the instrument, right? So you state the instrument. You state the research objective for that particular instrument only, right? Okay. Then the name of the instruments to be validated. Okay. Motivation questionnaire, self-esteem questionnaire, creative thinking test, and so on. Interview question, right? So this is the template. Is actually the template from our faculty. Okay, you can refer to the academic office. It actually signed by our chair. Okay, this is Prof. Dr. Fatin. Okay, our former chair, and now is Dr. Noor Effendi. Okay, you can email to Puan Rohaya and make sure you prepare this. Okay, prepare the content because Puan Rohaya did not know what is actually the title of the instrument, the objective. Okay, she did not know. Okay, please prepare this. Okay, this is the place where you can find your verification of student status. Okay, this is actually not compulsory. Maybe some of the validators not asking for this kind of letter, but maybe some of the validators outside from UTM asking about this. So you can get from my.utm.my. Okay, and then go to the academic verification. You can add the new application, so you can request to have this kind of letter. So it will state that you are the UTM students. Okay, the metric number, school, and so on. Okay, so this is the letter you can get from the UTM student portal. Okay, so this is the example. I will share to you, I will show to you some of the example of the form, but it is not actually, I'm not saying that is actually the only format. Okay, you can have another format, but make sure that you have this kind of things. Okay, first of all, some of the students that asking me for validation, this is actually I'm pick the example from the student that asked me for the validation. Okay, so this is actually the form where I can the validator need to sign and also fill in some of the information. For example, how many years is actually the validator is actually in that field. Okay, what is the qualification? Of course, when you are seeking for the for the creativity in chemistry, for example. For example, the instrument is related to creativity in chemistry. So the qualification may be in chemistry education. Okay, so later on the examiner, okay, will find out the detail of the validator, okay, in this kind of form, right? The red box here, right? And the date, of course, not the date 1 day before you submit the thesis to the faculty. Okay, that is wrong. As I mentioned to you, the pilot study must be conducted before you collect the data, right? So this is the space for the validator to write and comments, okay? Maybe the validator, or for me, I will write, for example, the font is not clear, something like that, okay? Maybe the formatting, right? The formatting of the instruments, something like that. So I'm sure that validator will write something in the comments column there, right? Okay, this is for the questionnaire. Okay, this is for the questionnaire instrument. Okay, so for the this is the example, okay, for the instrument that to be validated, but it is the questionnaire instrument. Okay, I believe that we have many type of instrument. Okay, it is maybe questionnaire, pre and post questions, or interview questions. So I'm show you here the questionnaire. So you can see here above is the brief description about the questionnaire. Okay, you give the validator the description about the questionnaire. What is the questionnaire is about? The questionnaire is about the perception of ODL program. So the validator will know about that. Okay, please provide the brief description. And also maybe the source, and also the where you actually adapt, okay, the questionnaire or the instrument. So it is better to list down. Maybe the validator will checking after while she or he, okay, validate your instrument. Okay, she will take a look about the source here. Okay, she will read the journal or something like that. Okay, to have the proper meaning of what you want to measure. For this example, is actually the students want to measure about the perception and satisfaction for ODL program. So the validator, okay, will maybe take a look about the source, okay, will find the journal and to read, okay, to get some information from the journal, okay, about the perception and also about the satisfaction. So the validator or the expert will be validate the item. Is this the item is actually measure the perception? Okay, that is why the expert is really important to find the suitable one, right? Okay, so this is the space for the validator to write the comments. Okay, maybe he or she have comments. The item is not clear. The items is double barrel and so on. So the expert will usually write the comments here. Okay. Okay, so this is the example for the test question. Okay, previous one is the questionnaire. So this one is the test question. Okay, this test question is actually to measure the creativity, scientific creativity. Okay, so the suitable expert is actually in chemistry education or chemistry field. Okay, so find the suitable one, and then if you can see here, what is actually consists in this cover page is actually what is the construct in scientific creativity. Okay, first one, the student said that this chemistry test have 3 constructs. Okay, what are the definition of the 3 construct? Okay, the student also stated here in the table here. So the validator will have the idea, okay, what is actually this instrument is about. Okay, so the student also stated here the duration, the marks, okay, of the instrument. Okay, so the validator will have the overall picture of the instrument. And of course, the source of the developed instrument is stated here. Okay. Okay, second, okay, this is the example also. Okay, the continue from the previous one. You can see here, the students is actually provide the answer. Okay, I'm give the box red above there. Okay, the answer for the question. Okay, the left side is actually the question for the test. Okay, of course, when the student distribute the test for the student, the box in right hand side is not appear. Okay, this is for the validation purpose. So what is the answer to that question? Okay, what is the criteria to be measured in that question? What is actually the scoring, okay, for that question? So the validator or the expert, okay, we'll take a look about this, the criteria, the answer, and the scoring, and so on. And she or he, the validator, the expert, will comment. Okay, the validator will give comments and then suggestion to improve. Okay, so this is what actually I will state that this is the best way. So the students and also the supervisor later on will understand what is actually the lacking, okay, of certain item. Okay, if you have 10 item, so maybe the 10 item is actually displayed like this. Okay, so okay, next is also the test question. I'm sorry, this is in Malay. Okay, so this is for test question. Okay, if you can see here, okay, actually the students also stated here what is the name of the instrument. Okay, what is the topic? How many questions? Okay, 24 question here. Okay, how many questions? How many marks is actually allocated for all of this test question? Okay, what is the duration? How the duration for students to answer later on this test question? So it's 1 hour. Okay, this is the subtopic. So how many questions is actually for each of the subtopic, and the allocation of marks? Okay, the student also stated here. It is to make sure that the expert or the validator clear, have the point of view about the instrument that she or he want to validate. Okay, because we want something constructive from the validator. Okay, we want something feedback, we want something constructive comments or opinions maybe from the validator. So you need to provide this to make sure that the validator will understand, okay, what kind of instrument that you want to the validator to validate. Okay, so this is the question, the open-ended question. So the students also provide here the allocation marks. Okay, it is 3 marks here, and then the standards of the questions, and it is falls under what kind of subtopic, and the suggestion answer for this question. So as I'm is the validator for this question, so I will take a look. Okay, the answer is actually correct. Okay, maybe I have comments. Why the marks is 3? Why the mark is not 1 only? Okay, I will write the comment there. Okay, in the box. Okay, the space for validator to write comment if necessary. Okay, if I accept or I agree with this kind of question, so I just tick yes and then accept. Okay, so that is the way. Next is interview question. Okay, if you have the instruments, okay, for interview questions, okay, like this, okay, of course, you need to state what is the objective, research objective, and also the research question. Okay, so the validator, okay, the validator will make sure that the listed of interview question will answer the research objective. Okay, what is the purpose if you have one research question or one objective and the 10 item, the 10 interview question is not or not be able to answer the research objective? So it is wrong, right? So you need to have this kind of form, okay? And then you ask the validator to give comments. Is your questions, okay, your interview question is suitable or not? Okay, able to reflect the construct what you want to measure. In this case is cognitive load, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So again, in EduTech field, okay, because this is EduTech bootcamp, I will show also the validation for the learning environment and also the lesson plan. I believe that some of you here is actually from EduTech panel, so you may design the environment, okay, the learning environment or the lesson plan that integrated the technological tools, or you are integrated the teaching strategy or learning strategy and so on. So this is what is actually the forms looks like. Okay, you provide the example of activities in Google Classroom like this. Okay, so the student is actually design the asynchronous online learning using Google Classroom. So the student provide this print screen, the screenshot of the Google Classroom. So if I am the validator for this kind of student, I will check, okay, either this screen is actually for the engagement or not, or actually it's reflect the example of the activities or not. Okay, so that is the purpose. So next is the environment or the lesson plan as well. Okay, you can see here the student stated the source. Okay, the source for the lesson plan. Okay, it's integrate pedagogy based principle. Okay, so this is the pedagogy principles, and then these are the activities conducted. Okay, so the examiner, the validator, okay, later on will check, okay, this definition and also the activity is suitable or not, okay, for this pedagogy based principle. Okay. Next is the mobile application or the courseware. Okay, this is actually for maybe suitable for EduTech program, the student from EduTech program. Okay, maybe you are developing the mobile apps.
Anyone of you here is actually entering the WebEx? No. If you are entering the WebEx, I think you need to make sure the sound is zero. For microphone. You enter the WebEx and silent. Not on the microphone. Your mic. Now it's on.
Definitely, I close the voice.
Your microphone is.
Okay, sorry for the hiccup. Okay, next is the example for the mobile application that has been developed from one of the students, okay, in EduTech field, where the student is actually develop the mobile application integrated constructivism in the mobile application. Okay, so make sure the students, okay, you provide also the interface for the application. All right. Okay, so that is all the example. Next is number 5. Okay, the step for number 5. Okay, when you prepare all the documents, okay, to give to the validator, okay, the form, the appointment letter, the status of the student's verifications, and also the instrument itself, okay, with the space and so on. Okay, then you give the documents to the expert and give them enough time to validate or review. Okay, as I mentioned to you, actually it is good for you to follow up after 2 weeks. Okay, not today you send the document and tomorrow you ask the document is back. Okay, so I'm sure that all the lecturer here is quite busy. Okay, so you give them the ample time to validate your instrument. Okay, you can give via email. Okay, you ask what is actually the preferred way, okay, from the validator. If the validator asks you to print and then give to him or her, you can hand over to them face to face, right? Okay, and then next is collect the feedback from the experts and discuss with your supervisor. Okay, do correction if necessary. Okay, meet supervisor to discuss about the comments given by the expert. As I mentioned it before, we want the constructive feedback from the validator. I'm sure the validator, if they actually understand what is the construct you want the validator to comments, okay, she or he will give the best to validate your instrument. Okay, then you can discuss with your supervisor. Either you want to accept, either you want to just ignore it. Okay, so you can discuss with your supervisor. Okay, then the validation forms must be included in your thesis as an appendix. Okay, make sure you don't throw away your validation form, the form that have the sign from the validator, right? Okay, don't throw it away. You need to um, include in the appendix later on in your thesis. Okay. Okay. Next, okay. Report the comments from the examiner in the thesis. Okay, usually in chapter 3. I don't know here. Maybe some of you from different school or different faculty, maybe the way of writing is different. But from my point of view, and usually in EduTech panel, so we are writing in chapter 3 for the validation process. Okay, so report the comments from the examiner in the thesis and report the correction made. Okay, I give you example here. Okay, the left, okay, I give you here report the validation process in chapter 3, subtopic pilot study, validation. Okay, under validation subtopic. Okay, you can see here the first table that I provide to you. Okay, the students report the comment by the expert one. Okay, it is the sign teacher. Okay, so it is appendix B. So when the examiner later on read your thesis, so the examiner will refer at the back of the thesis. Okay, appendix B is actually the expert one who is actually validate this kind of instrument. So this is the comments for question number 1, question number 2, and question number and so on. All right. So this is the comment by the expert in the second column. Okay. So this is the another example. Okay, if the expert do not have comments, okay, do not mention anything in your instrument, you can just write none here. Okay, this is not the best table that I can say. Okay, you can do by yourself. Okay, but the important things is you report what is actually the comments from the validator. Okay, and then you can see here in the red box here, every comments given were taken into consideration and changes were made to the creativity in integrating multimedia element rubrics. Okay, because this is for the instrument called integrating multimedia element rubrics, and then refer to appendix E. So you can see that, okay, the comments by the expert one is actually appendix C. And then the comments from for the expert 2 is actually appendix D. Okay, after both validator give comments, okay, the student will make improvement, okay, and then change to the instrument based on the comment. And the final one is actually the Appendix E, where the Appendix E is the final instrument and the instrument used in the data collection, the real data collection, right? So I think that's all for my sharing today. I wish that you are in a good progress. Okay, I'm sure that majority of you here is actually in semester 1, 2, 3, or actually in data collection after this the phase. Okay, I hope that you will end of your study. Okay, later on. Okay, so this is the attendance for today. Wait, I'm share with you the link and also the QR code. Wait, I will share with you in the chat. Wait. Wait. Okay, while waiting for that, if you have any question, you can ask. Actually, we have here in face-to-face, Prof. Dr. Zaidatun are here. If you have any question from the participant, okay, in WebEx, you can ask. Okay, you can ask also to Prof. Zaidatun. And if Prof. Zaida, if you have any information to add, you are welcome. Okay. Okay, so this is the QR code. Okay, I'm sharing the links for the attendance in what is this? Okay. You. Oh, okay. Sorry. Because I'm worried that you are actually did not get this one. Wait. Share. Screen to. Dia ada ni. Okay. You have a question.
Thank you very much. So, I have a question. Like, is there a guideline for number of validators?
The name of the
No, number of.
number of votes, you mean?
Number of.
I
get student required how many
how many number of the validators?
recommended?
I'm not sure the exact number, but maybe for the master level, it's actually now to have one or two. But in PhD or research, okay, maybe you can have more than two, because okay, I heard that some of the professors say that when the two examiners that we appointed give the same comments, which is actually bad comment, both of them. So what will happen to your instrument? So maybe you have another backup with another one mandate, right? That's my point of view. But we can hear from Prof. Zaidatun. Prof. Okay, microphone. Okay, in WebEx.
I have question.
Wait. I want to make sure that the dia hilang. Kejap, ada microphone. Kau cakap je.
The WebEx on. No.
Yes. Dia dah hilang ke WebEx saya?
You already
Dah hilang ke?
WebEx.
Dah hilang?
Close WebEx.
Dah hilang ke WebEx saya?
To start first no. Jangan tengok apa-apa lagi.
Ada. Dia macam hilang kat sini.
Yes.
Tak apa, Prof cakap
You
je.
have to screen ke? Okay, I think 2 is enough. 2 is enough. But however, you have to make sure that the expert that you refer is really expert. Another thing that I would like to share, don't make it something like garbage in, garbage out. Some of the researcher or students, they just do the content validity. It's actually related to content validity. The one that has been explained by Dr. Dayana is about content validity. Some researcher or students, they conducted a content validity. So garbage content validity process. What do I mean by that? What are the things that you would like to check in your content validity process?
For example, Dr. Dayana did show some example of form. The first form that Dr. Dayana showed, that form might be suitable if you run a content with a standardized instrument. Because the item in the form is checking about spelling, the sentences to understand, but not asking about whether the item really can construct. So some of the students thought that they just conducted a content validity process, that's all. But at the end, the examiner noticed that the item did not represent the construct. So at the end, at the end, bos dia cakap, at the end, what happened is that it's useless. The content validity process
Sekarang dia show apa?
is not really benefit in checking the instrument because you are checking on the spelling, the format, the technical. It's more on face validity process. Okay, then you claim the face validity process finding towards you say that your instrument is really valid. Check it because there are some students are doing that. That is my experience looking at it. And at the end, the content validity process is actually not really valid and not really supporting the research. Another thing is that find a validator that really critical.
The constructive feedback.
When you give your instrument to this validator, you will receive might be 3 to 4 pages comment. Okay. I share you one experience. I'm now validating a research instrument, 50 pages research instrument. Okay. So my first comment is that nobody going to answer this instrument. So at the end, I actually exulted to put all my comments. So what I did is I say that let us have a Google Meet or WebEx, and I will inform you what should be changed and so on. So this is where, because it's really challenges also to get the validator nowadays. Everybody busy. So you might be get validator that say okay. By the end of it, it's not okay. It's not okay.
What did you say? 50 pages.
One there's a researcher PhD student, but not from UTM, submitted to me to validate an instrument. 50 pages of the instrument is 50 pages. Just imagine with I'm not sure there's no one to answer in 50 pages questionnaire. So be realistic. So if you have that, that's a signal to you that don't conduct a survey, do an interview. Yes. Do an interview. Okay. Do a qualitative study because you really need to ask that 50 pages questions to the respondent. So don't do a survey, do a interview. Sit with that person 2 months and then you can ask the 50 questions with the student and so on. No, if you do an interview is not doing 50 students interview. You are doing totally qualitative. You know that qualitative, you can just done it within 5%, but then 5 students that you will interview will get along together. You eat breakfast together with the student, you eat lunch, dinner, 2 months with the student.
That means that one is not, that means it's focused interview. Because we are having it, you understand from there, you don't have a construct questionnaire.
You don't have a construct questionnaire, but you can have the guidance interview questions.
So we must think for an interview, and it is focused to research. It means my instrument, no need for validation.
Not really.
Interview also need
Validation.
content validation process because you are not sure that the question that you ask really leads to your research question.
The content, not the question. The content, not the question. And my first
The content is the question.
The question is asking when you ask the students questions, certain qualitative data, you would like to collect qualitative data. you need someone also to verify your interview questions, whether your question lead to the answer that you need for your research question.
That is structured interview.
What?
Structured interview.
Unstructured interview. You cannot just have a process that there's no questions. How come you interview someone with no interview protocol?
Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am.
Huh?
This is structured interview. I have a question I've stated. And this is unstructured interview. It's open for discussion.
Even
From my discussion, I ask this question, you give me the answer, it will lead to another question, and another student from counter
but unstructured interview also must plan.
Yeah, it was planned, but the question is not there.
No, the question is that. For example, experienced researcher, when they ask first question, they predict what's going to be the answer from the respondent. 1, 2, 3. So what's next? You cannot just have an interview saying that I have one question for you. Your answer will give me this question. No, you will end up with no question to ask. Okay? Even unstructured interview also, you need to predict the answer. Then you have to prepare the questions. Okay? You have to prepare the question. Then you know what to ask. And with that kind of structure, your first question tied to the second question, third question, and so on, it still needs someone to validate it, to keep eyes with it for me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Testing.
yes, if you get feedback from validators, it's the most that all the comments must be accepted, because sometimes maybe a particular, for instance, maybe I'm from another country, and then the comments from advanced studies in another country, and then the comments, the validator is from a different country, and then some of the comments are not applicable in my country. So is it a must to?
Okay, this is where Dr. Dayana did mention that all comments, bring it to your supervisor, discuss. Okay, not all comment is valid. Okay, you need to read.
Yeah.
You can rebut certain comment from the validators with justification. Okay, why? It's not afraid in the setting that you're going to collect your data. Okay, remember, rebutting certain point is showing the scholar of the researcher. But make sure when you rebut, discuss with your supervisor. Don't rebut everything. 100% you rebut. You do that. No point. Why are you conducting the content validation process? Okay. So you have to know which
One.
comments that you can accept, which comment that you think that it's not appropriate for your study.
Mhm.
But that one you need to mention later on in your future study. That's the idea for you, that you cannot tackle the one that is suggested by the validator due to because your setting cannot actually fit into what has been asked. That one is going to be a point that you put in your future study. You see that it's tied together.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
My question is on the minus two.
Okay.
What?
My question is on the minus two.
I think we need to entertain first. The participant. Yeah, the participants. Okay, I want to answer the question from this. Okay, Tana receive a contradict comment, for example. Okay, this is actually answered by Prof. Zaida. Okay, and mentioned by me as well. You need to discuss with your supervisor. Okay, you can accept. Okay, you can ignore, or you with the actually the proper justification. Okay, why you want to accept these comments from the examiner, or why you want to ignore. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, if you actually receive the contradicting comments from the validator.
But I give you some tips. the one that you cannot rebut. Okay? When the validator says that the item did not really represent, okay? So when the validator says that the item did not really represent the construct, don't ever rebut. Check it back. Don't rebut on that matter. Okay? Or might be the validator says that double barrel. Don't ever rebut. Across all countries or culture, double barrel is common thing. You are not saying that, oh, this one is not going to create problem in my population. Double barrel is something people did not know which one to answer. I like to eat apple and orange. Double barrel is actually killing you in the instrument. Okay, so what is it? What? Pilot study.
Where is the mention
What is the question?
Is there any options that you did not need to conduct pilot study?
Okay. This will answer one of the question here. It is compulsory to conduct the pilot study.
It's a compulsory.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. The question is actually same from the one of the WebEx. So I answered that is compulsory.
For PhD, even you are using standardized instruments.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. My stars is parliamental. It's parliament. It's parliament. It's parliament. It's parliament. So I have the result.
Okay.
So I have the result at hand.
Okay.
That I want to bring the information of that result. It means that result is going to be validated, going to go for pilot study.
That is where you have to know the purpose of pilot study. The purpose of pilot study is not only checking the instrument. The purpose of pilot study, the one that been covered by Dr. Dayana, is on the instrumentation. But the purpose of pilot study is including you estimate how long can you take to collect your data. For example, when I did my PhD, I developed software and teaching a little mathematics. So I have 9 applications that I developed. So I conducted a pilot study just to get how long students will use each application. So then I can estimate the time that I will spend to collect the real data. That is part of pilot study. So yeah, actually this is the lab that I conducted my pilot study. Okay? So I asked the real students, say, try it, how long, whether they can click the button or not, whether they can proceed in or not. Is there any error that they face doing the using the
instrument
application and so on? That's why you get it from pilot study. So don't think that experimental research did not require pilot study. It requires a pilot study. The question that will asked by the examiner is that why you are giving 1 week for the student to use your application? How to answer it? So the one way that you can answer it, when I have that pilot study, this is the minimum time the student requires to use this
application.
I to develop the instrument auto adapt.
all need pilot study. PhD research, try it. If you don't have a pilot study, you fall into C. Nowadays, I think 20 years ago, yes. 20 years ago, there is a different school of thought on pilot study. 20 years ago, people say that standardized instrument did not need a pilot study, but not now.
Okay. Problem. Assuming that you maybe for instance you have sample size and you want to carry out pilot study. Is there a required number of persons in the pilot study or minimum number? Yes, minimum.
For the real, sorry, from the real user, from the real students that going to use it, or for the validator,
No, for respondents.
or respondent. It depends on what kind of data analysis that you will compute for your pilot study. Usually, pilot study for instrumentation for the real respondents is if you get about 20 to 30 students, that's for correlation towards but the increase of concept, whether you use testing text or you use equivalent text, that's the concept. The one that mentioned by the Dayana is on validation. But
Yes.
on the other whether you are doing text with text, you do equivalent text, that's the methods for you to do that, and then you run. How much alpha is internal consistency?
Yes.
If internal consistency, there are two schools of thought. There are two schools of thought. Okay. The first school of thought, yes, you need different respondents, about 30 students to run the survey. Then you run the internal consistency. You know what's the meaning of internal consistency? I'm a statistician, what the meaning of internal consistency? Internal consistency is comparing each response of each item with the overall meaning of that item. You need to what is the percentage of the consistency of the response? Okay, that is internal consistency. So 30 students is enough for internal consistency. There are two schools. First, they say that you need to have different samples to run the internal consistency of proportion one. But there are statisticians that are using the same respondent, but with a risk. Okay, with a risk whether the proportion alpha is high enough. Okay, usually those who actually follow the second school of thought, the instrument is really high levels of like standardized. But if the instrument is totally new instrument, you ever use the same sample to run because you take a risk. Right?
Okay, before I close this session, okay, I just want to remind you that the attendance, you need to fill in the attendance, and all of you here, you can scan later on, I will share. All right, and the slides and also the recording session for this topic, okay, will be uploaded later in the YouTube for the RG, our RG group, research group, site group, okay, and then will be announced later on by Dr. Juhazrin. Okay, so I think that's all for today, and I hope that you can attend our colloquiums, okay, maybe in 2 weeks to this. Okay, so stay tuned to the next session by our panel. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.